All right, last time up, I forgot to do some things. So what you're looking at here is a Trello board that I created. When I hit stop on the recording or when I was producing this or something, I noticed a couple of things that I wanted to address next time. But I'm going to explain a little bit uh, what I'm doing here. So typically when I'm working, programming, I have this format of Trello board. It's sort of like Kanban, I guess. I've been dividing the so instead of just to do, I have like two categories of to do. But this is how I kind of keep a flow of work going when I'm programming. It's tended to come in handy for me. That way, I can, if I think of something else that needs to be done after the current thing I'm working on, I can do it, but without sacrificing, I guess, my flow. So anyway, you'll see how this works. I don't need to explain it too much, and this is supposed to be me working, not pontificating. So things I don't like. This one, I forgot to switch to large font in the white screen. So here I've already, oops, I did an episode of my Chess TDD series, so I had already switched to the white font. Or I'm sorry, the white color scheme. Now I need to go to, oh, you know what I can do? Font size. I always forget about this. This is pretty handy in newer versions of Visual Studio. I think that's as of 2015, or sorry, 2013. Probably shouldn't talk about that when I'm looking at numbers. So there we go, nice and big on the screen. I personally really don't much like coding this way. I like the 10-point font in the black, but it makes it pretty hard to see. So I'm gonna go with this. Now next up, I'm gonna go back here and say, well, that's done. And then I forgot to rename these methods. I'll show you what I mean in a sec. But, oops, I'm also, while I'm here, going to think of the next thing that needs to be done, which is get a passing acceptance test. You know what? I'm not going to articulate anything just yet. Let me just kind of keep going for a minute. I don't want to force this. So what I was saying here is, if you look at the feature text, when I supply location Chicago, then I should have a user named Eric. But so here I changed this string matching attribute thing, but I didn't change the method name. So when I supply location text. Strictly speaking, since it's binding on the string in the attribute, I don't need to do this, but I really prefer to be thorough. So it's then, yeah. What was it? Did they say then here? Yes. Then I should have a user named. Okay. All right, now that bit of housekeeping is out of the way. What I have right here is a pretty vacuous test. So what I actually need to do is get something that's failing. But, you know, I mean, I could do this to get something that's failing, so I'm not going to. I'm going to now at this point write a test that will fail. So I am going to call this right. For now, this is going to be the entry point into my class library. I'll just call it Hacker Finder. Now I have a failing test for the simple reason that this does not compile. Now, what I tend to do when I'm a little, oops, see, that's interesting. I don't want to rename it. I wonder why CodeRush is not letting me. Oh, I wonder if it's because of like some. Oh, it's going to be. I'm not going to name this Hacker Finder. That's stupid because I'm going to have all sorts of namespace conflicts. So I got to think on a name here. So Hacker Finder is the name of the project. What am I doing if I supply a location? I'm finding people. I guess profile searcher. I'm still in the exploratory phase of this project. So I'm gonna be a little fast and loose with the naming. And then improve it as I go by keeping it easy to refactor. So I'm going to declare this class. Now, one thing I tend to do, we get rid of this useless constructor too, is actually, it's easier for me to work when I'm doing tests until I have a reason to. I just inline the class. So the theory here behind test-driven development is that you want to get a failing test, and that can be non-compiling, which is what happened here. So I declared this class that didn't exist, so I had a failing test because it wasn't compiling. To get it to pass, I need to declare the class. Now, this is going to go in the Hacker Finder project, but just when I work on this, it's easier for me to declare it inline until I have a compelling reason to move it, which we probably will shortly here. Okay, but so this is not an awesome test so far, but it's getting better. I'm not doing anything about supplying a location. So actually, instead of waiting, I might as well do this now. So what I'm going to do is say, I'm going to declare a profile searcher, and then I'm going to say profiles equal, call this searcher. Searcher.get profiles for location text. All right, so same drill. This method doesn't exist. I'm going to use CodeRush to declare it, and CodeRush is fairly smart, so it infers that, well, CodeRush is a great tool, but about this, it's fairly smart. It infers that I'm giving it a string, so it declares a string parameter here, and I'm going to call this location text. Now I have a red test, but not for the reason I want. And it is, of course, not able to figure out what I want to return here other than that it's an object because I declared that as a var. So what I'm going to do is say let's return... This is new. When I make these classes, it's not giving me system link. Well, I'll fix that in a second. So this should probably eventually return an IEnumerable of profiles, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Let me do this. Okay. I mean, right. I'm gonna want link soon anyway. So return enumerable.empty string. Okay, so I'm back to green. Basically, what I want to do is get this to be set up to where I'm actually supplying this Chicago text, which is happening now. So this production method down here, get profiles for location, is, oops, I don't like the name there. Caps. What about that? Rename. Why? Oh, I just did that though. Anyway, now I'm going to have to do some magic here where basically what I want to say is in the when, I have done my arrange and my act. And so now I'm going to assert. I'm not just going to assert true, but I'm going to assert that something useful. Now I'm going to pop open my chess.tdd series again, because that's where I had built in some examples of bridging the gap. There's this context object that SpecFlow uses, and I think it's static state across the tests if memory serves. I don't remember exactly, so that's why I'm... Ugh. Visual Studio is loading user settings. This may take a few minutes. A few minutes is an awful long time when I'm recording. I don't really understand. I just had this open. Alright, well, I wonder what I can do in the meantime that's useful here. Let's see. You finished with that yet? Minimize. Oops. Okay. This never goes as fast as you would think. Or at least as I would think. I thought I'd be making a lot better progress. Okay, where is my... So chest TDD. And I just want to make sure I'm not doing this wrong. It'll be probably nice when I get to the point that I can do this in my sleep. SpecFlow is a tool I really enjoy using. But let's see what I'm doing here. Set in context. This is the method that I defined. So scenario dot... Okay. It looks like scenario dot context dot current. So I think that this is basically a something that keys up a collection, a hash, based on the type. So you can set like one of any given type. And that's how I'm communicating between these methods. So I'm not going to copy and paste. I'm not a big believer in that. What I'm going to do, for the moment anyway, is I'm going to say scenario context. I think I need current. And I'm going to set enumerable string to profiles. And you can see why I abstracted out these methods. And then I'm going to, because this is a pain, current get and call this profiles. I wonder if I'd be better served for this class. Okay, now I can assert something meaningful, which is I should have a user named user first name. So what I'm going to say is profiles, that there is a profile, and profile is a bad name since this is a string for the time being, excuse me. I'm going to like this. I want it to fail and say that assert true failed. Yes, there is none. Okay, now, this should make it go green. Hey, I've got my first passing acceptance test. Now, this is not great, but it's, it's something. It's passing. So I've got Profile Searcher here. And Profile Searcher ostensibly should be going out to GitHub and getting a user named Eric back. That's not what it's doing, but, I just need to keep this acceptance test passing until I get it doing that. I'm just wondering if... I don't know, I won't worry about the context too much until I have another acceptance test. But this is, I'm kind of coming at this with an outside-in test-driven development approach. But here's, I think, what I want to do now. Outside in, so I've got this acceptance test. I've got my first acceptance test passing, but I think I want to take this guy and actually put it into my production code to force the dependencies to get in line. care what this is called. I will paste the text. Rename the file to match the type. Get rid of the crap here that I don't need. Okay, and yes, I could make you static. That's true, but we'll live with that for now. So this is not going to be passing, probably because it doesn't. Yeah, so I don't even have the reference in here. Projects, Hacker Finder. Now I should be able to find it, and I want to get back to green as soon as possible. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, let's get rid of this too. Yeah, that's fine. So profile searcher. Oh, I see. That's probably not awesome. Why would? I wonder why that copied the namespace over. That's. I don't recall copying. Oh wait, no. I am getting too smart for myself. So Hacker Finder. I guess because it's just in the root. I was just wondering why I didn't need an include for that, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. So my acceptance test is still passing, but now that I've moved this guy over, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to just leave this open. But now that I've moved this guy over, I can start to write unit tests. And let's see. I do not want that. I'm going to structure unit tests here. So this is a newer convention that I've picked up. Profile searcher tests. And I'm going to add a class. I find I do better just adding them this way. Yeah, fine. And I'm going to make it a test class. Clean up these. And let's call this profile searcher tests. So profile searchers get profiles for location should. And this is where I can start to write some unit tests. So one thing I want to start to drive out here is the idea that this probably shouldn't just be a string. Let's say, what do I want to call these? Profile. Profile's a good enough name for now. I don't know. That feels kind of weird. So I'm going to say that this method should return a profile with a first name set to Eric. Profile searcher. Just call this target. So I'm going to say that actually target.get profiles for location. If I pass in Chicago, then what I get back actually, let's do this. First, And first profile dot first name. Okay, now I have a non-compiling test because first profile is a string. It doesn't have a property called first name. This is going to cause us to have to go back and do some rework, but instead of this, we're going to have it return a profile. And now I believe... Come on, Code Rush. Whoa, what on earth just happened? No. I guess that's like some kind of code lens thing, so I can declare the class. Don't need a constructor, and Code Rush gives me if I hit the right key. Move type to file. Okay, now we're cooking. So now I am still not compiling. I'm going to try to get back to green as quickly as I can here. What it doesn't like is that I'm returning a string. So let's just say public string first name get set. So that's pretty simple so far. And here, I will now do this. Hey. Now that's going to cause the unit test project to pass. We're going to have an error bombing out here in this class because it's not a enumerable string, but rather profile. And that's also going to cause us to have a problem here. And this will make us non-compile, but... Bam! Alright. Now, we've gone from having a useless acceptance test to having a useless acceptance and a useless unit test, and a more complex object hierarchy. So yeah, that's, awesome. Go me. I'm just kidding. It'll get better. So things I don't like. Things to be done. Move toward an actual implementation isn't hard-coded in profile searcher. Wish I could be, a little bit more specific than that, but I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to be kind of feeling this out as I go in terms of the design. So I'm going to call it a day here, commit this code, added profile searcher, added first bit of production code to satisfy to initial satisfy. There we go. To satisfy initial if failing acceptance test. Yes. Sync. Push. All right. So that'll do it. I'll see you next time, and hopefully, I'll get the stuff in place to actually issue a web API call, or, I don't know. Whatever it takes to send a GET request on up to GitHub, and we'll figure it out from there. So thanks for watching.